Hey guys, welcome to this walkthrough. Here in this video, we are going to perform the ICE lab. So from TryHackMe, so it's asking us to deploy and hack into a Windows machine, exploiting a very poorly secured media service. What we are going to do right now. So first of all, you just need to connect to this TryHackMe. So you just need to download the configuration page, and after that you can issue the command sudo openvpn and the downloaded file to connect to openvpn. Once it's done, you will be see everything is working perfectly here. Don't worry guys, I'm gonna making you to that page. So by clicking here in the access page, you are going to this openvpn downloading page. Here you can download your configuration file by clicking here. You can just pretty much download that. I already downloaded it, so let me open my downloads directory, and here is my downloaded file. So I'm just removing unnecessary contents from here. So let me remove that unnecessary. Okay, once all done, so I do have the OpenVPN file. I am issuing the command sudo OpenVPN and the OVPN file name, and after that I'm entering my password. Once it's all done, you'll be see something like this. So you can just pretty much open. Let me close this. Yeah, it's in a new. Okay, it's okay. Okay, so you'll be get to refresh here. Once you refresh, once you're connected, you will be see a connected indicator here, and you are ready to start hacking. Yeah, we are ready. So let's move back, and let me put this into this browser. So everything seems to be pretty good. So once you configured OpenVPN and connected, then you can just pretty much click complete on all of these. Okay, so the first step is about Recon. Recon is stands for Reconnaissance. It's about information gathering. Here we are going to perform an nmap scan to gather information that is a active reconnaissance. So scan and enumerate our mission, scan and enumerate our victim. Okay, so you just need to start the mission. You will be able to see in your computer, maybe this will be in the green. So if it is green, you can just pretty much start that. I already started that, and it is asking us to deploy the mission. This may take up to 3 minutes to start. I already deployed it, and I got my target IP address from here. So I'm just copying that and launch a scan against our target mission. I recommend using a SYN scan, that means minus S capital S flag in Nmap. To set to scan all ports and ports on the mission. The scan command will be provided as hint. However, it's recommended to complete the nmap room if you have. So the command will be provided as hint, and here is our command that you can pretty much use. So here I'm using attack box so that the scan will complete faster than in my own mission, because I am here using the -p flag, which is all port scanning, as you can see. So I'm just adding this in the clipboard, and now I can just paste it here. Okay, so here I'm just replacing the target IP with my target IP. So basically, -p- will scan for the all the ports, which here which is basically 65,535 ports. So it will basically taking a lot of time to perform the scan to complete. So that's why I'm using attack box. So these kinds of things will get completed faster in here in the attack box. Okay, I'm just starting the scan. You can also use your own Kali Linux without stopping this. You can just open a new tab and you can just perform that scan, because all port scanning will take time to complete in our local mission. So that's why I'm using attack box. You can just start your attack box by clicking here. You will be able to see and start attack box option, where you can start your attack box and perform the scan. Or if you don't want attack box, then you can also perform the same scan from your terminal itself. It's okay, you are already connected to OpenVPN, then the commands will get worked here. So you can also try to ping to see if it is if you are getting a connection or not, like ping. And as you can see, I was able to get connection. As you can see, 64 bytes was shown. That means I will be able to get a connection. I'm able to ping with the target. So let me this scan is still 14.29% complete only in this attack box also. So basically, all port scanning will scan for 65,535 ports, and it will take some time to complete in your own mission. So it's recommended to use attack box for all port scanning. So here, the question here is, once the scan completes, we will see a number of interesting ports open on the mission. So basically, we just perform this scan, and the scan is still progressing. So anyways, we can just read the next question. Once it's completed, once our nmap scan completed, we will see a number of interesting ports open on this machine. As you might have guessed, the firewall has been disabled with the service completely shut down, leaving very little to protect the machine. So one of the more interesting ports that is open is the Microsoft remote desktop protocol, which means RDP. So it's MSRDP is Microsoft remote desktop protocol. What port is this open on? So basically, RDP stands for the remote desktop protocol, is running on the by default port of 3389 is the default port. And I don't know in which port that RDP is running in this target mission, but the default port of RDP is basically 3389. You can just pretty much get that by googling RDP default ports. You can just google that and you'll be able to see it's basically running on TCP 3389. So this is what the port number of RDP. Okay, so let's try to answer this as 3389 was correct, and it's running in the default port, and this can be still not completed. As I mentioned before, if you are using your own OpenVPN mission, then it will take more time than what it takes in the attack box. So that's why I used attack box to perform that. So I'm not going to complete all of the lab in this attack box only. I'm using my mission also, so don't worry about that. So as I mentioned before, it's basically minus p minus will scan for the 65,535 all the ports. So that's why it is taking time, and as you can see, it's still only 2% completed, and it's still 2.4 2.3 something like that, 2.87. It's taking a lot of time, right? But here in this attack box it's now 55.46, 56, and it is somewhat faster than what we are able to get in from our terminal itself. Okay, so that's why I just performed the scan on the attack box. Okay, let it scan, let it run. So let's try to answer the rest of the questions. So here, what service did nmap identify as running on port 8000? First word of this service, so we just need to find the service that is running on port 8000. If nmap doesn't show you the service name, try running the scan again, possibly the version enumeration switch, that's minus sv in nmap. So here I'm using my own VM to scan this. So here we are just scanning only for the port 8000 because that is what we want to know. So here I'm using the service version flag. So we are targeting only a single port. That's the reason maybe this scan will complete so faster. So we are not going to scan all the ports. We are targeting only a single port that we want to scan, that we want to know the version. And here it is. So it's basically the version here is Icecast streaming media server. So that will be the answer to this question. Like, the service did nmap identify as running on port 8000? First word of this service seems to be Icecast. So let's answer that. Let's take a look. This scan was still not completed. So yeah, let it run. It's 80% complete, so it's okay. Okay. So what does nmap identify as the host name of the mission? All caps for the answer. So you just need to find the host name. So if nmap doesn't show you the host name, try running the scan again, possibly with the default scripts like minus sc stands for the script scan. So let's see if nmap is going to see a host name. Unfortunately, we don't get any kind of host name related informations. So this scan was again not completed. So let's try to perform and scan with minus sc if nmap is not getting you the result. So let's first try without minus sc called the script scanning. So let's just try to perform this basic nmap scan like nmap space IP address, and this scan is pretty much faster than what we were able to get in normal scans. Yeah, this scan is faster, so let's use minus sc to perform the script scan. So let's try yeah, it seems to be pretty good. Yeah, minus sc script scan is also not bad. So let it run. Okay, let's see. Yeah, here the scan was completed, and this is what the results that we were able to get from the first question. Okay, so let it be there. So we are not going to interact with this. Maybe we will need this in future. Let it stay there. Okay, so nmap, what does nmap identify a host name of the mission? So we just need to identify the host name, and it's 91.83% complete. We are performing a script scan to enumerate the host name, because there is no host name that we were able to find from these types of scans that we done previously. And here also we would not be able to find any kind of host name related information. So that's why we are starting the script scan to get the host name. It's 94% complete. So let's try to run this in our attack box also to see what happens. So basically you just need to paste the contents here in the clipboard to get it done. It's pretty much good, right? It reached 92 so faster, right? So let's see if it is completed. No, it's 94. Here it reached 94. Wow. So feel the difference, right? So the scan speed is so faster right here. So let it run. So it will pretty much give you the host name that you want to answer here. So the first step as of now is recon, which seems to be reconnaissance, gathering information from the target. And its second step is about gaining access into the Windows mission, escalating into the Windows mission, looting, post-exploitation, and extra credit there. So this was 98. Maybe this will be completed. Oh, it's 95. So let both scans run and see what happens. Here, we were able to get the results, and we just need to find the host name. And let's try to find the host name. This is OS. Here it is. We were able to get NetBIOS name as dark PC, which seems to be the host name. So let's try to answer this. The computer name, NetBIOS computer name here is dark PC. And here also we were able to enumerate the NetBIOS name. And there is I could not find anything that is specifically told you that this is the host name, but basically this is NetBIOS name, computer name. Maybe in your computer you will be able to get host name. So here it's dark PC. So yeah, let's move on to gaining access. So basically, IceCar streaming media server exploit the target vulnerable service to gain a foothold. So now that we have identified some interesting services running our target mission, let's do a little bit of research into one of the weirder services identified. IceCast is what we identified on port 8000. IceCast, so well, at least this version running on our target is heavily flawed and has a high level vulnerability with a score of 7.5 or 7.4 depending on where you view it. So what is the impact score of this vulnerability? So you'll be able to get from here for this question. And next, and there's a hint. This type of vulnerability allows for an attacker to execute arbitrary code in an unauthenticated fashion. The name can be found here. So let us click here. And here it is. It's basically IceCast, and we just need to find the impact score, which will be here available here. It's basically 6.4 is what our impact score would be. So the answer to this question is 6.4. So I would like to not only answer to this question, but also to learn. I would like to access the port 8000. So how you access? Basically, I'm just trying to access the port 8000 from the browser to see if I'm able to access. No, unfortunately, I'm not able to access the source you requested could not be found. Is what is there. So let's try to answer to some of the other questions, like what is the CVE number for this vulnerability? CVE is what we need to find. The CVE was disclosed in 2004. In the case you get stuck on the question, a link to the manual version of the exploit associated with the service can be found in the final task. This link has some additional details about CVE we are exploring here. We do have a cvedetails.com. It's recommended for completion of this question. So here maybe this has that CVE number for this vulnerability is basically, you can see it's basically CVE 2004-1561 is the CVE. Yeah. Now that we have found a vulnerability, let's find our exploit. For this section of the room, we'll use Metasploit module associated with the exploit. Let's go ahead and start the Metasploit using the MSF console command. Before running the MSF console, we just need to find the Metasploit module. So I would like to find that. So I'm just searching the CVE space exploits online for getting any exploits, and here it is. I was able to find a lot, and I'm here I got something from the Rapid 7, which seems to be from the Metasploit. You can also use the site operator for Rapid 7.com, and you will be able to get only the results from the Rapid 7 website. And here is our icecast header override vulnerability, and you'll be able to get the code from there also. Here it is. Here is our code that you can use. I'm just copying this. Let's start our Metasploit by entering MSF console. And to answer this question, this is what our module is. You just need to copy from here, from the exploit, and here it is. Here is our code. Here is our Metasploit module that we want to use there. So here I'm just used and the module name that I copied from there. After using that, I'm just entering options command to set the options, and we just need to set the target host, which seems to be our target IP. I'm using set rhost command to set the target host. Once it's done, now I just need to set the R port, which is by default running on port 8000, and our service is also running on port 8000, so I don't need to say in that. And I just need to say in the L host, which seems to be my virtual machine's IP, Kali IP. So this is not what we need to put there. So we just need to set our L host into the ton0 IP, which is our TryHackMe OpenVPN IP, and it's done. Now, if everything is done, now I'm just executing the run command, and it's starting, it's sending stage, and pretty much I will get the connection. So, and I'm just moving to this. Let's go ahead, and all the steps that we done was mentioned here also. You can also use icecast or use zero command to search and use, like following selecting a module, we now have to check what options we have to set. Run the command show options. We just run only options, which seems to be pretty better than this. And what is the only required setting which is currently blank? So the required setting which is currently blank is basically our host. So that is the answer. We just set all the required content, so you just don't need to set it again. So you can just read this. Okay, first let's check that L host option is set to our ton0 IP. So basically we just sent our L host to ton0 IP. So yeah, if everything is done, now you can just click the complete option. So once it's done, you can just execute the run command or exploit command once everything is done. And we are moving to the exploit. Woohoo! We have gained a foothold into our victim mission. What's the name of the shell we have now? So the shell that we have now is meterpreter is what we have now. The shell that we get access as meterpreter. So that is the answer to this question. So what user was running the at icecast process? The commands used in this question and the next few are taken directly from the Metasploit module. So you can just use the hint, and it's get UID is where you will be able to get the username, and server username is dark PC. It's basically dark. So what build was build of Windows is the system. So you can just use the sysinfo command to get the build number or the build name. Here we were able to see it's basically dark PC and it's build 7601. Now that we know some of the finer details of the system we are working with, let's start escalating our privileges. First, what is the architecture of the process we are running? So the architecture of the process that we are running is x64. So I'm answering that. Now that we know that architecture of the process, let's perform some function further recon. While this doesn't work the best on x64 machines, let's now run the following command. So we just need to run this following command, and this can appear to hang as it just explodes and might take several minutes to complete. So let's try to run this. We are using run command, and the module that we want to run, it's basically a post module exploit system module, and it is giving us information and it's running. We just run that. Running the local exploit suggester will return quite a few results of a potential escalation exploits. What is a full path? Starting with the exploit module. For the first returned exploit, so we just need to find the first returned exploit, and we have a hint. The answer will include event viewer. So here it is. So this is basically the first returned exploit, and there is no event viewer. So this is the answer, which includes event viewer also. So this is what they are asking for. So answer to this question is this. Okay, now that we have exploit in mind for elevating our privilege, let's background our current session. Using the background command or control set will background our session. Take a note of what session number we have. This will likely be 1. In this case, we can list all of our active sessions using the chmod, using the command sessions when outside of meter session. So let's do this. So let's background using the background command, and let's enter the sessions command. This will list the session, and it's basically our session is running on 1. That's it. So go ahead and select our previously found local exploit for use full path for the exploit. So this is what we found. You just need to use that. I'm just executing the use command and the exploit name, and it's done. So now I'm just executing options command, and we just need to set the session. So I'm just setting the session as 1, and I also need to change the L host, which is our .0 IP. And now what we need to change, like it's done. Local exploits requires a session to be selected. We just perform so options and all those things. We just set the session number. Now that we have set our session number, further options will be revealed in the options menu. We have to set one more as our listener IP is incorrect. What is the name of the option? So listener IP, the option that we set is L host is what we changed here, right? So we just changed our listener IP to .0. So this option right now, and you might have to check your IP on the TryHackMe using the IP ADDR. So we can just execute set lhost as .0, and it's everything done. You just don't need to execute this command. So anyways, so let's move on. After we have set, you can also use this command if you want. Okay, you can just try it. I'll show you that also. Okay. So this is how it looks like, and this is how it will give you the results. Okay, so now anyways, let's move on. Now after we have set this last option, we can now run our privilege escalation exploit using the run command or exploit command. So here I'm just using run command to run that. It's running. This might take a few attempts, and you may need to relaunch the box and explodes in the case if it fails. If it fails, you just need to restart the machine. Okay, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so following completion of the privilege escalation, a new session will be opened. Interact with the new session using the command sessions a session number. So yeah, so we just get meter session 2. Now when I enter sessions, sorry, this session will not be working there. So we just get. So we can now verify that we have expanded permissions using the get previous. So you can just, we are now in the, I'm just using the background command, and I'm just listing the session. So we now get the second session. Previously we have the session 1. Now we have the session 2 also, right? I'm just interacting with the session 2. Sessions -I to interact with session 2. Okay, now we are in. So let's use the get pros command. which will give you the privilege escalations, get privileges that we have. The what permission listed allows us to take the ownership of file. The permission will be close to the bottom of those listed. So ownership of files, which will be in the bottom. So this is the ownership privilege. So this is the permission for ownership, and that's done. Now we are moving to looting, where you are using Mimikatz. Learn how to gather credentials and crack saved hashes on the mission. So prior to further actions, we need to move to a process that actually has the permission that we need to interact with the LSAS service. So this is a service that we need to interact. The service responsible for authentication within Windows. First, let's list the process using the PS command. So we can just use the PS command to list the process that is running, and this is the processes. Now we can see process being run by anti-authority system, as we have escalated privileges, even though our process doesn't. So you can just pretty much see the process that is running on anti-authority privileges from here. So in order to interact with the LSAS, we need to be living in a process that is same architecture as LSAS service x64 in the case of this mission, and a process that has the same permission as LSAS. The printer spool service happens to meet our needs perfectly for this, and it will restart if we crash it. So what's the name of the printer service is what the question is. Mentioned within the question is the term living in a process. Often when we take over a running program, we ultimately load another shared library into the program, a DLL, dynamic link library, which includes a malicious code. From this, we can spawn a new thread that hosts our cell. Printers with spool document. So we just need to name the printer service. Okay, so let's try to see if there is any printer spool or something like that. We just need to focus on anti-authority system, and we have the LSAS, and here it is. Spool SV has also anti-authority system. So here is what they are asking for, printer spool, something like that, and here it is the answer. Migrate into this process now with the command migrate -n process name. So we can just pretty much migrate using the process, like migrate -N process name. You can also use migrate and this process ID. So migrate -N. If you specify capital N, then you can just give the process name. And we are migrating from 1748 to 1364. So it's completed. So let's check what user we are now with the command get UID. What user is listed. So it's still not completed. Let us wait a little time. Yeah, it's completed. Migration completed. Let's execute the get UID command. And the server username here is anti-authority system. Let's answer. We get all the permissions that we have now. So now that we have made our way full administrator permission, now we are full administrator permission, and we can access anything that we wanted. So we will set our instance on looting. Mimikatz is rather infamous password dumping tool that is incredibly useful. Load it now using the command load kiwi. So you can just pretty much execute load kiwi command, which will load the Mimikatz. Kiwi is the updated version of Mimikatz. So let's execute the load kiwi command, and it's loading the kiwi extension, and let's click complete. So loading Kiwi into our meterpreter session will expand our help menu. So let's take a look at the newly added section of the help menu. Now we have the command help, and we just need to get, yeah, it's success. Mimikatz was loaded success help, and this is the newly added section in the help menu, which seems to be Kiwi commands. So these are the commands that you can use once you load Kiwi. Okay, which command allows us to retrieve all credentials? So retrieve all credentials, the command should be creds all. Let's try to execute this creds all command, and this is what we were able to get. Okay, so let's give this as answer. So run this command now. What is the dark password? And Mimikatz allows us to steal this password out of memory even without the user dark logged in, as there is a scheduled task that runs icecast as a user dark. It also helps the window defender isn't running on the box. Take a look at again at the PS list. This box isn't in the best shape with both firewall and defender disabled. So we just need to find the dark password. So here You can see username is dark and dark PC is the domain, and we just get the password of dark, password 01 exclamation, and it's basically password 01 and exclamation was not here according to this format. So let's move on to the post exploitation. Explore post exploitation actions we can take on Windows. So before we start our post exploitation, let's revisit the help menu one last time in the meter shell. We will answer following questions using the menu. Okay. So what command allows us to dump all of the password hashes stored on the system? We won't crack the administrative password in this case as it's pretty strong. This is essentially to avoid password spamming attempts. So which will the command that we need to use to dump all password hashes is basically hash dump. You will be able to get that command from this help menu. As you can see, dumps all contents of the SAM database. So this is what they are. Yeah, hash dump. Okay, so while more useful when interacting with a machine being used, what command allows us to watch the remote user's desktop in real time? So you can just use screenshot or screen share option, which will help us to watch them in real time. Watch the remote user in real time. It's basically screen share option. We can just pretty much use that to watch them in real time. Okay, let's try to see what is happening. It's saying status is waiting, and this is how it is. This is how it works, and we are now watching this in real time. Icecast is running on the target mission. Okay, so this is how basically it works. I'm pressing Control C to stop that. Closing this. So how about if you wanted to record a microphone, attach it to the system? So we can just pretty much record the microphone attached on the system using a command here called record mic, record audio from the default microphone for X seconds. I'm just executing that. It's filed. So anyways, this is the command that we use to record microphone attached to the system. So yeah, to complicate forensic efforts, we can modify timestamps of files on the system. What command allows us to do this like timestamp modification? Don't ever do this on pentest unless you are explicitly allowed to do so. So basically, if you don't have permission, you just don't have to do this. It's kind of illegal, right? So illegal. Okay. So anyways, this is not beneficial to the defending team as they try to break down the events of the pentest after the fact. So the command that we need to change the timestamps is what we need to answer. So let's say to find the command that we help us to change the timestamp. Here is called, it's basically timestamp is manipulate MACE attribute. Let's try to execute, no path specified. So this is not how you use this. So basically this is the answer to this question. So yeah, Mimikatz allows us to create what's called a golden ticket. So allowing us to authenticate anywhere with ease. What command allows us to do this? So golden ticket function within Mimikatz, which abuses a component of to Kerberos. The authentication system in Windows domains is Kerberos. So basically the tickets granting ticket, in short, golden ticket attack allows us to maintain persistence and authenticate as any user on the domain. So we just need to answer to this question. As Mimikatz allows us to create a what I call golden, allowing us to authenticate, and what command allow will do is. So we just need to find the Mimikat command that allows us to get golden ticket. So we can just search for the golden ticket command from here. Here it is. So this is about creating a golden ticket, creating a golden Kerberos ticket. So this should be the command. Let's try to do that. You can also specify the domains and rest of the things to get it worked. I'm not going to executing as of now. So to answer this question, this is the golden ticket create. So one last thing to note, as we have the password for the user dark, we can now authenticate to the mission and access it via a remote desktop as this is a workstation. We'll kick whatever user is signed on to of if you're connected. However, it's always interesting to remote into the missions and view them as the users do. If this hasn't been already enabled, we can enable it using this command. So once you run the command, it will enable the RDP, and you can pretty much connect using RDP. I'm just executing this. RDP is basically already enabled. The 338 name port is already enabled, right? And it's opened. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. So now we have the credentials, right? We have the username dark PC or dark, and we have the password. You can just pretty much connect it using RDP, right? Maybe you can just use services like Gramina. It will, I don't know if it is working or not. Let's try to use that. Unfortunately, gaining access was not completed. We just forgot to click complete here. Yeah, I'm just pasting the target IP here. Could not connect. So basically, we just can't connect to RDP like this. We can just try to find if we have any RDP modules, and we have 247 of RDP. So I'm just searching this as name parameter for getting RDP. We have 163 of them. I'm just searching for RDP underscore login task. I'm unable to find. So anyways, I'm not gonna look on to that. So basically what we wanted is here. So I'm just executing the sessions command, and you can just pretty much interact with the session too, where you have permission to do all of things like sysinfo, like get UID. You can see we are anti-authority system. Let's try to see what is there in the session 1. I'm just interacting with the session 1. I'm entering get UID to know which user I am. So here you can see it's basically dark PC. Okay, we are at the end. So basically you can just enable RDP using this command. Once you execute this, if the target is not enabled with RDP, you can just pretty much enable RDP on the target using this command in interpreter. Okay, so that's something about it. I'm just clicking complete, and that's it. You can also read the extra credit. So you can also visit exploit link, explore manual exploitation view exploit code that you found in the exploit DB, which is an exploit database, and you will be able to get to know a lot of details about this vulnerability that we exploited right now, the CVE, the EDB ID, auto tape, platform date, etc. from here, and you will do get the code that you can use to exploit this. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. As you advance in your penetration testing skills, you will be faced eventually with exploitation without the use of Metasploit. Okay, so provided above is the link of one of the exploits found on the exploit DB for hijacking IceCast for remote code execution. While not required by the room, it's recommended to attempt exploitation via the provided code or via another similar exploit to further hone your skills. So to hone your skills, we can just use these to exploit the service that we have right now without using Metasploit. Let's try to use this. I just downloaded that. It's basically a C code, and let me see if you have something. It's basically C icecast. Let me open a new tab. Stopping this. Let me try. Here is our C code. Ice exec. So basically, they're using something called ice exec, so which will be unable to find. So I'm just trying to find. We have the ice exec. Let's try to search that. It's basically I could not find that. So anyways, you can just pretty much try this code. It's basically buffer overflow, something like this. The usage was not properly mentioned. Like it's saying that you can just pretty much start the NC, and we don't have any ice exec. I could not find ice exec. Okay, anyways, I'm just ending this video. That's all about this video. Thank you guys, thank you for watching. I hope you will be able to get to know something from this video, and thank you. I will see you in the next one.